For many, many reasons, 2018 was a big year for people who care about tech. The announcements, they just never stopped. I mean, just look at this month, October. We've already checked in with Microsoft and its updated line of Surfaces, and then Google held an event to show off phones and tablets and smart displays. And just when we thought this endless month might be over, here comes Apple with, frankly, a lot of stuff that needs announcing. You can follow our live on-the-ground coverage of Apple's event starting next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, but in the meantime, we thought we'd catch you up on all the things we think we're going to see. First up, iPads. And if there's any sure thing about next week's event, it's that Apple is going to show off two versions of the iPad Pro. And yeah, they're going to look really different from the iPads you're probably used to. We're expecting 11-inch and 12.9-inch Pro models with LCDs that stretch across their entire faces, plus a Face ID sensor sitting up top for quick unlocks. We're also hearing Apple may have switched to USB-C for charging and data transfer, which A, makes sense because they're standard across MacBooks anyway, and B, suggests Apple might do the same for next year's iPhones. These new iPads should also use a more powerful version of the A12 Bionic chipset we saw in this year's iPhone Xs, and if those things were any indication, both of these new Pros should absolutely fly. Reports suggest we might also get word of a new iPad mini, and that is huge news for anyone who loves smaller tablets. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo says Apple is going with a faster chipset and a lower cost display, which sounds like the company is trying to build a smaller version of its popular full-size iPad. iOS fans should find a lot to like at this event, but Apple's Mac fans are going to have the most to celebrate. While the MacBook Air name is probably dead at this point, we do expect Apple to reveal a successor, an entry-level MacBook with a 13-ish inch Retina display. We don't have too many details on it right now, and frankly, that's the most frustrating part. People have been holding onto their MacBook Airs for years because they're super portable and they have a full complement of ports. I hate to say it, but I would be shocked if the Air's replacement has all of that flexibility. Then again, Bloomberg has said that Apple is in part targeting schools with this low-cost MacBook, so maybe we'll get lucky after all. Also on deck is a new Pro-focused Mac Mini, and we don't have much insight into that thing's specs either. It is fascinating, though, that Apple is supposedly pitching this thing at Pro customers. I mean, in the past, Mac Minis were very low-end boxes meant to give more people a taste of OS X. We know Apple has a team specifically devoted to pros and what they want from their hardware, so it'll be interesting to see what the company actually prioritizes with this new Mini. Are we going to get 9th gen Intel processors or SSDs for everyone? We'll find out soon enough. Apple's fancy iMac Pro is still less than a year old, but its standard iMacs are also due for a refresh, and some new filings submitted to the Eurasian Economic Commission suggest we'll see exactly that. Again, there are no hard specs worth noting right now, but a chipset refresh is certain, and we wouldn't be surprised if Apple made its Retina displays standard across all iMac models this year. And then there's the wildcard stuff we're just hoping Apple talks about this time. At the top of that list, AirPower. Remember AirPower? Apple first teased it a year ago, and since then the company has said literally nothing about it. It even scrubbed every mention of AirPower from its website. If we're lucky, Apple will have something to say about it this week, because literally anything would be better than the deafening silence we've heard so far. And if Apple does talk about AirPower, it's probably going to talk about AirPods too, but probably not the cool 2nd gen model with the better audio quality and noise cancellation we've been hearing about. No. If anything, Apple is going to talk up a mildly tweaked version of the AirPods we've been using for years now, just with a case that can be charged wirelessly. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff to dig into, and it's coming at us fast. Stick around for all of our on-the-ground coverage next Tuesday, and, pray that we get out of that demo room alive.